This is Violet Cameron. Thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
So, I wanted to ask you about your story. So, I heard that you're a cancer survivor, and I heard that this really influenced your diet today. So, I kind of wanted to ask your history, like, what happened and what changed your diet? What changed your approach and perspective to nutrition and nourishment?
Well, I didn't know. I always thought I was healthy. I was always very active and sporty and strong. So I just assumed I was healthy, and I wasn't overweight. In school, they always talked about, a certain size, and so I thought skinny equaled healthy.
Okay.
And so I was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma in 2011.
What is that?
That's cancer of the lymphatic system, so you can't cut it out. It's all through your body, but it shows up in tumors. So there was a massive tumor in my chest, and they gave me, I think, about 60% chance of survival with the chemo and radiation. So that was not bad. Like, that's pretty good. And then I did chemo and 25 hits of radiation to the chest. I was very sick, lost all my muscle mass. I was in bed for about 8 months straight. And I just thought that's the way to go. And then I was given the all clear at the end of the year. And then 8 months later, it came back with a vengeance. And they said there was a 70% chance I wouldn't come out of the hospital alive. And if I did, I would be on a respirator because my organs would be corroded. And I'd be in a wheelchair because my bones would be severely damaged just from the chemical.
And this would be after the second.
This is the second hit, yeah, and that was only for a 5-year survival rate because your body can only take so much. So at that point, and I had multiple surgeries. They were trying to get to where the tumor was because it was cutting off my airway, and it just was so invasive. It wasn't working. And I didn't want to go out like that, and so I took control of my life. I read The China Study by Dr. T. Colin Campbell.
Oh, that's the guy you were telling me about.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's incredible. He also wrote a book called Whole. I watched the documentary Forks Over Knives, and I just tried to educate myself as much as I could about anything alternative and the power of nutrition. So I decided to take out the tubes, and I went to a clinic in Mexico called the Gerson Clinic, and they believe in restoring your immune system and detoxing your body. And I was in bad shape. I had trouble walking because I had no muscle, so I was in rough shape. And within 2 weeks on the diet, my blood count went to that of a normal person. And even when I was in remission, it still wasn't normal. Like, my white count was way off.
You mean the white blood cells?
Yeah, so just the diet alone, which is a vegan, whole food, plant-based diet, it leveled everything out in my body. And then 2 months later, I had a scan, and it stopped all cancer growth, which is something that modern medicine couldn't do, chemicals and radiation. And I know it's very, it's such a funny subject, and but I just have to say from my experience, I did the other way, and it didn't work. And I found now, diet, what's in your body, it makes sense. You know what I mean? That's what fuels you. Like, if you're gonna put, like, what do you put in your car? You put gas. If you put something else, it's not gonna run right. So why do we treat our bodies different? So yeah, I think diet saved my life. It's so crucial.
Yeah, that's an insane story.
Crazy.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So, if you don't mind me asking, what is your diet right now? Like, what do you eat?
What do I eat daily? Like, is in a meal plan for the day, or
like your average, like, breakfast, lunch, dinner,
breakfast, lunch,
or
and dinner.
snacks, or whatever.
Yeah, so I wake up, it's called Demetrius Dirt, and I have that with water, and it's really good for your body. I have about a teaspoon of molasses in hot water, and that starts off your system. I always have oatmeal. I drink for milk, I have almond milk. I don't have any cow's milk or anything like that. I have lots of salads, wraps. Mexican is my go-to. Indian food is my go-to. I think the biggest thing is people think that if you don't eat meat or dairy, that, what do you eat? Well, there's so much to eat, aside from that. I just choose to eat things that support my immune system versus burden it, So pretty much, yeah, everything. I'm a big smoothie person with superfoods as well. I'm a big juicer, and also little things as well that you don't think about is water. I thought I drank enough water. I did not. So every day I fill up 2 mason jars and I slice up lemon and I just put that in there. I try and have an alkaline diet, and dairy and meat is very acidic. So,
what about in terms of cooking? I heard, I don't know, like cooking in oil or something like that makes the food more acidic. Do you?
Yeah, I don't cook in oil. I use water. I just use a little bit of water, and that tends to heat it up. I use a lot of spices, anything natural that I can. I try and not eat anything processed if I can help it.
If you can help it.
Yeah.
Do you break the rules sometimes?
Meaning like processed as in, see, my thing's a little bit different. Even organic sauce, even if there's ingredients in there that I can eat, I try and have as little of it as I can, and then I try and make my own, just so it's fresh. You know, food that you're having, if it's alive and you know, plants are fresh and they have all the nutrients and they're not frozen, that's going to be better for your body and easier to digest. Anything synthetic is, your body doesn't know what to do with that. You know what I mean? It does it, like, we've evolved maybe, you know, with devices and things like that, but our bodies are still the same. And so anything natural, your body just knows what to do with. But my personal belief is, well, with what worked for me, if it's natural, it works. If it's synthetic or heavily pharmaceutical, my body doesn't react so well, or I have negative side effects, you know. But you have to be aware of what works for you and that sort of thing. Yeah.
And that's kind of what our project has been catered to. Kind of, we've been focusing on the clutter of information and misinformation of food. Because, you know, for every article, and I'm talking about articles that are available to everyone, like anyone who Googles. We're not talking about like research-based, because of course if you get into that you'll find more reliable information, but I'm talking the general population. If you Google an article on what's healthy to eat, you will find another article that says the complete opposite. Like coconut oil, some people say coconut oil, some people say it's not. You know, so we've been focusing on this pollution of not only our environment, our physical environment, but the pollution of our virtual environment, you know,
media
our media
overload.
Media overload.
And it's all based on marketing. Like, if you look at a lot of these articles, who are they funded by? You look at the magazine, who is donating at the end of the year for this magazine to, you know, be printed. And it's not very hard. You know what I mean? Like, you know, even our, you know, the American Standard Diet, it's like, it's sad. That's what it's saying. But it's like, even that, it is very, you look who's on the board of directors. It's the meat industry. It's the dairy industry. So why are they going to tell you that having cardiovascular disease isn't a good thing? You know what I mean? Exactly. So it's just, and it's not saying things are wrong or right, but it saved my life. Okay? Like, I grew up on a farm. I have friends who have very successful dairy production systems, I'm going to say like that, and I understand, and I understand that that's their livelihood. But for me, it almost cost me my life, and I'm not going to live in the dark like that. As well, the more I research, the more, I've always been an animal lover. I love animals, but I didn't love animals enough to realize what was happening in factory farming, what things have come to, and I can't support that. I won't support that. And I prefer to be in the light and see what's happening and make better choices, because there are choices out there, instead of having blinders on and pretending it's not happening. Exactly. And I think that's what's empowering for people. Like you said, the media overload. Yes, it's bombarding you, but it doesn't take that much time to realize what's happening. And you do have the power through your dollar to make better choices. Yeah. And then it's easy. Right? It is really, really easy. It's just that switch in your mind frame.
You just have to start thinking a little more critically about what's out there.
Yeah.
So, anyway, thank you so much for sharing your story and your opinion. That was so wonderful.
Good. Good.
Everyone, Violet Cameron.
Hey!
Hello. See you guys later. Bye.